are now listening to the Dee Hankins Show. Life, curveballs, home runs, the Dee Hankins Show. Are you ready? Let's go.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Dee Hankins Show, where we talk about life, help you with your curveballs, and celebrate your home runs. One of the heaviest things you will ever carry is a person who doesn't want to change. Last week, we opened up bucket number 1, my choices. We talked about the seat of power, and I hope y'all been locking in because I'm talking about some life-changing, philosophical, life-transforming things here, right? And you got to lock in. You got to strap in and get ready because 2026, we're taking control. In bucket number 1, your seat of power, that's where you want to be. In bucket number 1, we talked about having 100% control, 100% authority, absolute responsibility over your choices, your thoughts, your actions, your reactions. But today, we're opening up the bucket that causes 99% of your headaches. The bucket that keeps you up at night. The bucket that drains your bank account and your energy. Today, we're opening up bucket number 2, others' choices. We are going to talk about why we are so obsessed with trying to control other people. Not only that, we're going to talk about how we can finally let them go. This is episode 24, bucket number 2. Let's get into it. Welcome to bucket number 2. What goes into this bucket? Other people's thoughts, other people's actions, other people's words, other people's reactions, other people's apologies. Think about that text message that you're drafting right now in your head, that long one that's going to try to fix that person. That belongs in bucket number 2. Now listen closely. You have 0 authority over this bucket. You have 0 control over this bucket. So let me put this in regular terms, okay? You have 0 authority and 0 control over other people's actions, reactions, words, so on and so forth, okay? Now, you may not like something someone says. However, you have no control over if they say it or not. You may not like what someone does, but you have no control over if they do it or not. You may not like how someone thinks, but you have no control or authority over how they think. You just don't. But for some reason, we just don't believe that. We convince ourselves that if we yell a little louder, if we send one more paragraph long text message, if we love them a little harder, that magically we can reach into bucket number 2 and get them to do what we want. You think if you manage them enough that their choices will turn into your choices, and you can't. Your spouse's decision to leave, bucket number 2. Your boss's decision to hire someone else or promote someone else, bucket number 2. Your colleague's refusal to do their part on a project, bucket number 2. And when you spend your life trying to manage bucket number 2, you have to leave bucket number 1. You have to leave your seat of power. Basically, you're leaving your car to go wrestle with somebody else's steering wheel. And without anybody behind your car steering it, it is going to crash. So what does it actually look like to live in bucket number 2? Now, I love playing video games, so roll down this lane with me. Let's say you are playing a video game and the screen is flashing game over, but you're like frantically pressing buttons. Come on. Why isn't this working? You're sweating, you're getting angry, your heart rate is up, you're stressing out, and you're giving a ton of energy to this freaking controller that's not working, only to look down or realize that there's no batteries in it or it's unplugged. It's not connected to the system. It's not connected to the game. The sweat and panic you feel when the game is slipping away in your life and in your business, that isn't just stress. It's waste. In business, we call this resource mismanagement. And this is what holding a grudge or trying to control somebody looks like. When you refuse to forgive someone for past wrongs, or you obsess over what they're doing, that's you literally sitting in your office mashing buttons on an unplugged controller, on a controller that has no batteries in it. You're allocating your most limited resource, your mental bandwidth, to a mechanism that has zero effect on the result. You're not punishing them. You're exhausting yourself. Now, what's interesting about bucket number 2 is a lot of your pain, a lot of what you think, a lot of the choices you make, a lot of how you see the world has come from bucket number 2. Most of us have been hurt by someone else. Most of us have been disrespected, heartbroken, undervalued, mistreated, talked about, you name it, by someone else. So this bucket is real. Like I said, it's 99% of your headache. Bucket number 2 is a huge bucket because a lot of our problems come from that bucket. And if we don't understand how to categorize these buckets, these things that happen in life, especially bucket number 2, you will be stuck holding grudges for the rest of your life. Okay? Freedom comes from understanding bucket number 2. It's funny because I go to, I speak. That's what I do for a living. And I go to conferences and I do workshops and I talk to a room full of adults and I give them these keys and I tell them, I always warn them with the disclaimer that I sleep well at night because I know that each and every one of you in this room and each and every one of you listening on this podcast, you are human beings and you are going to do what you want to do. You have laws that say don't drink and drive. What do? Drink and drive. You have laws that say don't go over the speed limit. What do? We go over the speed limit. You have experts that say don't do this, don't eat that, don't smoke this, don't drink that. And what do? We do it anyway, okay? That's the beauty and the curse of the human spirit. Someone can sit here and tell you how to get your life together, like I'm doing now, how to progress in life, how to let things go. And the reality is you're going to do what you want to do. Bucket number 2 is a problem. All right. And because others' choices, I want you to get this distinction. All right. You are a bucket number 2 to everyone else in the world. All right. You live in bucket number 1, but you are bucket number 2 to everyone else outside of yourself. So while you're sitting here and you may be thinking, oh yeah, my boyfriend doesn't do this, and or my mom or my mother-in-law or my son or whatever the case may be, when you're sitting there thinking about other people that just drive you crazy, somebody is sitting there thinking the same thing about you. While you're upset about this coworker for not doing what they should be doing, there's somebody in the office that is upset about you for not doing what you should be doing. Bucket number 2 is a problem, okay? And the only way to get out of bucket number 2 is through forgiveness. Okay, let me calm down. Let me slow down. We need to be honest on how to stop messing with bucket number 2, because living in bucket number 2 is messing you up. Trying to control someone else is messing you up. Holding a grudge, not letting go, it's messing you up. People treat forgiveness like a soft skill, like it's just a simple mental switch that you flip on, done deal. And that's a lie. Forgiveness is brutal work, absolute brutal work. It requires you to look at a debt that is legitimately owed to you. Someone betrayed your trust. Someone hurt you. They owe you an apology, and you decide to cancel the invoice. That's brutal. You think holding on to that invoice makes them pay? No. You know what's happening actually? You're paying for the storage. You are paying for the rent for the headspace to keep that grudge alive. You're paying for it. And canceling the invoice is the only way to stop the bleeding. You need actual words to drop the controller, to put the controller down. You need actual things to say. So I'm going to help you out. All right. This is how we get out of bucket number 2. Remember, forgiveness is brutal work, but Dee Hankins, we talk about life, we help you with your curveballs, and we celebrate your home runs. These are some of the things that you need to say. These are things that I want you to focus on. If you're dealing with someone where they did hurt you, they did betray you, they're taking up that headspace. These are things that I've written down for you to help you get out of bucket number 2, okay? First, you have this internal release, okay? I'm releasing the demand for them to understand how much they hurt me. Think about that. I'm releasing the demand for them to understand how much they hurt me. I'm choosing to stop waiting for an apology that is never coming. Keywords in there. I am choosing, meaning you're back in the bucket number 1. Let's say you're at work, right? And a lot of people, I deal with a lot of professionals and we got grudges, man. We hold some things from our coworkers and our employees and the code switching and all that, when really we just like, man, just take it outside. So this is for you professionals, the professional boundary, man. If you dealing with some stuff, here you go. We had a breakdown in trust. I processed that and I'm ready to move forward. I don't need to rehash the history, but I do need to be clear about my boundaries moving forward so we don't repeat it. That's power. And I'm going to say it one more time, okay? You have this professional boundary, all right? We had a breakdown in trust. I've processed that and I'm ready to move forward. I don't need to rehash the history, meaning I ain't really got to explain and go back down memory lane. I just need you to know that we need to be clear about my boundaries from here on out so that we don't repeat this problem. Okay? That is a strong statement. That is how to get out of bucket. That's assertive. That's, I put my foot down. I mean in business. Look, something happened. Okay? I processed it. I deal with it. This is what we need to do so this doesn't happen again. All right? And for like a general, maybe you're not in a professional setting right now, but just for a general bucket number 2 escape, this is for you, okay? The unplugged affirmation, like we're putting down the controller, okay? Tell yourself, this is a disconnected controller. My anger here changes nothing on the screen. I'm putting down the controller. Okay? In other words, I am tired of trying to control you. My anger towards you not doing what I want, or, me understanding the choices that you make are yours alone, it's doing nothing for me. It's just making me more angry. So instead of continuing to play the game, I'm just going to put the controller down. Now, this sounds easy and looks easy on screen and looks good on screen on this podcast, but when you're in a heated debate with your husband, or you're in a heated debate with your boss, or your kids are wilding out, or somebody on the street just called you an N-word, right? You know what I'm saying? Like this, like I said, forgiveness is brutal. This is not easy. It's not just like, oh, flip it on, so on and so forth. However, the more you practice, the easier it gets. The more you understand bucket number 2, the easier it gets. So I'm going to leave y'all with this truth, okay? Knowing you need to put the controller down is intelligence. Actually letting go is resilience. But that muscle doesn't get built overnight, and it rarely gets built alone. Tomorrow, I'm actually headed out to a conference to do the heavy lifting with some student leaders and some adults, because building resilience and doing this work takes real intentional work. It takes work. It's brutal. It takes hard work. It takes practice every single time something happens to you. And tomorrow, I'm not just going to come in and be like, yo, you're dealing with an unplugged controller. No, I come in to help your people handle the pressure of plugging it back in. So if you want to design a culture to help stop carrying the weight of people who don't want to change and start solving problems, go to deehankins.com, click the booking link, and let's get this 3-bucket philosophy in the ears and the hearts of people on your campus or in your company. And next week, we finish this 3-bucket philosophy with bucket number 3. Natural disasters, acts of God, AKA the uncontrollables. Until then, put down the controller, check your buckets, and remember, life throws curveballs, but even curveballs can be hit for home runs.
Whole life throws curveballs, but even curveballs can be hit for home runs. Oh, life, those curveballs, but even curveballs can be